Range and maximum engagement altitude are commonly used real-world metrics to evaluate missile performance. But are these metrics accurately modeled in War Thunder? First, we need to understand what range and maximum engagement altitude mean. Range refers to the maximum distance in which the missile can reliably hit the target when flying horizontal to the ground. Maximum engagement altitude refers to the highest altitude a missile can reach to hit a target. Range and maximum engagement altitude form a half-ellipsoid volume centered on the AA system. Any aerial target that enters this space can be intercepted and destroyed by the missile. If a target exceeds this coverage, the missile may fail to hit it. To verify maximum engagement altitudes in War Thunder, we selected several anti-air vehicles for testing. First, we tested the Soviet 9A-35M to Strela 10M2. The Strela 10M2 fires the 9M37M missile. In real life, the 9M37M has a maximum range of 5 kilometers and a maximum engagement altitude of 3.5 kilometers. We did 2 separate tests to determine whether its range and altitude limits are accurately modeled. The first test was trying to hit a stationary target. Stationary targets weren't a challenge. 7 kilometers above the ground. The missile hit the target without much difficulty. Rose to 5.2 kilometers, which should exceed the 9M37M's range. But the missile still hit the target without difficulty. It seems stationary targets weren't a challenge. Next, we tried a moving target. The target is flying at 3 to 3.5 kilometers altitude and 4 to 5 kilometers away from the anti-air system, bordering on the 9M37M's real-world performance limit. It still hit the target with ease. It seems that War Thunder has no such thing as a maximum engagement altitude limit. Next is the PGZ-04A with the Hongying 6 missile. In real life, the HY-6 has a max range of 6 kilometers and max engagement altitude of 3.5 kilometers. However, War Thunder's in-game stat card shows a range of only 5 kilometers. Good job, Gaijin! This time, we tested targets at 3.5 kilometers and 5 kilometers altitudes. Then came the moving target test. The target flew at an altitude of 3 to 3.5 kilometers, 4 to 5 kilometers away from the anti-air. The last vehicle tested is the Tor M1. In real life, the Tor M1 fires the 9M331 missile, which has a maximum range of 12 kilometers and a maximum engagement altitude of 6 kilometers. This time, we put stationary targets at 6 kilometers and 12 kilometers altitudes. Hits were achieved effortlessly. Next, we tested a moving target flying at 5 to 6 kilometers altitude and 11 to 12 kilometers away. The Tor M1 is still able to destroy the target. After testing 3 surface-to-air missile systems in War Thunder, we can draw a conclusion. In War Thunder, range is equal to maximum engagement altitude, creating a spherical effective area. It doesn't matter if the target is stationary or moving. As long as it enters the missile's listed range, the missile can be fired and will hit, regardless of the target's altitude.